Welcome back, guys. Last weekend, Lauren at Northrop Tropicals put on a in-person shopping event in collaboration with Tropicals Equaflor-a. So similar to how Equigenera does these orchid aroid shows, except that they didn't send any orchids this time. So it was just like Equaflor-a's pop-up at Northrop Tropicals. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first one that Equaflor has done in Vancouver. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard of another one in the past few years. So I do know that they've grown a lot bigger in the last few years. So I'm gonna say that it was the first one Tropicals has done in Vancouver at least. So Lauren has been doing a lot more of these in-person shopping events. It's been really great. Like now that we're kind of seeing people again, we're so used to buying plants online or like, you know, on Facebook and stuff where you're just buying based off of a photo. So it's really nice to just go to Lauren's place in person. She has so many plants. There's just like an abundance to choose from. Your eyes don't even know where to look. So if you saw my last Northrop Tropicals video, I did a little tour of her kind of growing space in North Van, and also her retail space where people can shop. So since that video, Lauren has kind of like completely moved everything around in the back. So she's gotten rid of her tents. She's kind of got these really high like rack shelving all along the walls. Everything's kind of moved around and it looks like a completely different space in there. The show was supposed to be Saturday and Sunday of last weekend. Unfortunately, there was a delay in the shipment, so the shipment didn't actually arrive to Vancouver till Saturday morning. So everything kind of got pushed back a little bit. And also like 3/4 of the plants didn't make it off the plane or didn't get sorted properly. So the first pickup that arrived to Lauren was only 1/4 of the plants that were supposed to be there. So I didn't actually film too much of like the pop-up part because by the time the plants all got there was like late Saturday. And then so Sunday was like the full-on show. All the plants were there. It looked actually beautiful from the photos I saw, but I didn't get to film any of that because I was just there for the first part of Saturday. But I was really happy to just be in Lauren's space because like, first of all, it looks so different. It was like, she had gotten more plants in since the last time I visited, and it's just fun to hang out in her space anyways. So I'll show you some of the plants that she's got growing right now and what the space looks like now as well. And I think we're planning to visit another time. So I can't even really like believe how much work Lauren and her team have been putting in for the last few weeks. She has imports coming in. She's completely redone the space and she's prepped for this event. So I felt really bad that the event was kind of like thrown off a little bit by all the lateness for the transportation of the plants. Like that was a big up on the airline's part, just basically like not being able to find 30 boxes of plants. Despite all that, Lauren was able to put on a really fun event, and like a lot of people while I was there were leaving with like gorgeous plants, really big plants. So yeah, the first part of the video is just gonna be us going to Northrop Tropicals, us being myself and Charmaine, of course. So us going to Northrop Tropicals and showing you around the space a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and meet you at the end. I'll show you what I picked up. It's not a lot, but I picked up a couple of things that I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, I'll see you back here shortly, and I hope you enjoy the video. How late were you up last night?
I was editing till 3.
That's gross.
What about you? You were editing late too.
I left my computer at like midnight.
Oh, look at you. Dude, the only reason I stayed up late was because I saw your post. I was like, oh, she's working. And you fucking went to sleep.
So, I have my phone on me.
It's right there. It's early.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's early. She hasn't had coffee yet. You guys forgive her.
What are we gonna have? Starbucks cold coffee ice are so disgusting.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I cheated. I already had coffee because I want to get a tea. Like an
iced tea lemonade.
Yeah. Just feels like that kind of day.
Peach green tea lemonade.
I've never had that before.
I really like that one, but I don't know if peach is on the menu right now.
Oh no. I usually get the strawberry acai refresher or the dragon fruit refresher. But the strawberry acai is my favorite one.
Does it just taste like juice? Like a Fruitopia? when I get those, I'm like, I should have just gotten
Yeah.
the Fruitopia. It would have been
The same. My ovary is hurting.
No.
I'm gonna get my period soon, that's why.
Not today.
No. In like a week. But the symptoms start now.
I don't know how you wear shorts and a tank top when you're feeling like that. I feel like a whale. I feel like we're gonna be in the way a lot. There's 6 of them.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, I mean, we can help, or we can just stay the hell out of the way. Ow, this fucking tag, bitch. I'm just digging. I'm just
Is it in your anus?
Yeah, you can get close. It just, I need to like shift it. So anyway, how are you?
Itching your ass all day. I hate this weather so much.
I love it. I feel like I'm home. Welcome to California. You have to zoom in on your face.
Look at that demon child.
Ew. Ew, why is his eyes that color?
Why did, of all photos, why did they
Yeah, can we find a better one? Jeez. They're like, this one was free. I didn't want to pay Getty Images. I know. It's so dirty. It's terrifying.
Do cheetahs have red eyes when they're babies?
I think
or
so.
period?
No, I think
thought they're
period.
yellow.
I think that's a leopard. Wait, what's the difference? Cheetah. Wait.
Do cheetahs have red eyes?
I mean, I'm seeing one right there.
Maybe it's black.
Black. That's a hyena, no? Wait, what's the difference between a cheetah and a leopard? Oh, cheetah has. Okay, no, I got it. I got there.
Okay.
I got there. Don't worry. All together now.
I'm so excited for dim sum tomorrow.
Me too. I really want shrimp chips.
It's not dim sum.
I'm gonna beg. I'll say, please, please.
So
please,
Garen said
please.
last time we were at dim sum we ordered jellyfish. Did we?
Yeah.
We did?
Wait.
Because I was like, we wouldn't order jellyfish. That's not that's not dim sum food. What did we?
Yeah. Every single time we've gone there, we've gotten jellyfish.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure we didn't get shrimp chips?
I don't think we got shrimp chips.
Maybe Jane can swindle them.
Maybe. You smell like sunscreen. Is your lotion?
I want to smell like sunscreen.
My sunscreen always smells really tropical.
Tropical. I'm just wearing my eczema lotion.
So glam. I think I'm gonna get some intimidating.
What?
There's big bikes.
Oh god. And then
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get a lot of thumbs down for my next video.
what is your next video?
It's part 1 of like things I wish I knew.
Why are you gonna get thumbs down?
Because I started making it. I wasn't gonna film that video this week.
Yeah.
But then when you're talking about
Oh yeah.
I got so mad.
Oh yeah.
I didn't edit all of the stuff out. I edited some things out that I thought maybe it was just like too shady. But then I feel like there's just too many drainage hole crusaders that
I mean, seriously, like, people will listen to you. And it's like, I'm doing a video on, dude, you should have seen the amount of things that came in when I posted my questions about like plant care advice that goes around in the community, whether you agree. So many came in. I think I'm gonna get a lot of thumbs down on that because I'm gonna be just fucking ragging on some of those.
What's like the main thing? Where like the question was like things that you don't think are good advice, right?
No, it's basically like don't pot without drainage holes. Advice like that just goes rampant in the plant community.
Yeah, and
like,
it's like a blanket.
Yeah, it's
rule.
like what are some that you've heard, whether you agree with it or not.
Oh,
so basically people were saying like don't water at night, don't mist your plants, misting in outdoor in non-greenhouse conditions doesn't actually boost humidity.
I talked about that.
Yeah, and then obviously like period blood for fertilizer.
People talk about pebble trays.
Yeah, there were I think there were like 2 or 3 people that were like, pebble trays don't actually. What?
I know.
So where are you supposed to go?
Yeah.
Pebble trays don't actually raise humidity. Only water once a week, or only water on a schedule. Don't fertilize in winter. Don't repot a new plant right after getting it. Let your Hoya dry out to make them bloom, or I can't really speak on these, but only water your Hoyas when you can fold it like a taco.
Oh yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, no, like that's the thing people say.
Why would you do that?
I think it's too much stress.
Yeah, like I would never.
continuously.
Yeah, your plant's just always going to be in stress.
Yeah. Like if you're always over watering your plants, I guess that's better.
Yeah, I guess. Don't propagate in winter. Only fertilize in the growing season. Only do repots in the spring and summer. Watering with Epsom salt in your soil.
Why?
I don't know. I never heard that one before.
Is there like phosphorus and magnesium in Epsom salts?
I actually don't know.
I'm trying to think of the chemical.
But like, why would you use Epsom salt if you could just use fertilizer? You must remove death plugs from your plants. That annoys me.
Yeah.
Like the roots are already growing out of it. The death plug is like this small. It's gonna be fine.
And it's soft.
Yeah. Watering with ice cubes.
Oh yeah.
Scientists say that no drainage long term will kill the plant due to salt buildup.
Yeah, I talked about a little bit about that.
The bottom line is you're not keeping these plants in no drainage for like 7 years.
I know, but I gave 2 examples of ones that's been like a year and a half, 2 years in the same pot.
Yeah.
Never flushed out. Fertilized every watering, and like there's no signs of it. I've been trying to research it though.
Yeah, like I've never even seen photos of a plant that has too much salt in the substrate.
Yeah.
And also, it's not like we're fertilizing with vegetable fertilizer that's like super acidic.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Well, like if your fertilizers are dropping your pH enough.
Yeah.
Or you're correcting your pH to like slightly acidic over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced the burn.
Yeah, I don't even know I don't even know what I would look for.
And then everything I've researched is kind of like large scale farming, like outside.
Yeah.
With, I don't know, it was really hard to kind of make the connection to houseplants. And no drainage.
Yeah, because it's totally different. Not layering substrates because of the perched water table. That, like, I think that's a good example of people trying to compare plants that are growing in nature versus in a containerized pot. Because yeah, like, there is going to be a perched water table, and if you're thinking about like an entire rainforest, that perched water table is going to be so vast, like the square footage of that perched water table.
Yeah.
But in a vessel that's like this small, you're only, you know what I mean? Like the surface area of that perched water table is going to be so little in comparison to. Why is everyone so mean today?
I'm doing it. Okay, thank you.
Like you're talking about an entire rainforest that has a perched water table versus a 6-inch pot.
When it's like this big versus that big, the same
it's totally
effects
different concept.
Yeah. And like you couldn't just be like brand new to plants and then just pot in no drainage because you don't understand how to water.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's definitely something that you have to learn after you've been working with plants for X amount of time. But like to say that it's just an absolute no-no.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess all of our plants are dead then.
I hate crawlers when you have this much stem and this big of a leaf.
I know, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It just topples over. Yeah, you have to do that method that Aaron taught me where you like velcro it to
with
like
the bamboo.
yeah.
Where
not for actual like.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I didn't get an abortion, I would literally have, yeah, I would almost have an almost 13-year-old. Imagine a 13-year-old in my life right now, please. I literally cannot even take care of myself. Like, who would allow me to have a child?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. And like, with the whole fucking mental health crisis, can you imagine how many people who have things like PTSD, depression, that are gonna go through postpartum?
Yeah.
A lot of them are not going to make it through. Like, that's one reason why my doctor told me to not have a kid yet, because they're worried about what postpartum can do to me in my current mental state. So like, it's just gross. And then obviously as like a sexual abuse assault survivor, it's like, obviously it could have been so much worse, but like, what if, you know what I mean? Like, people who actually get like fucking raped by their uncles and stuff. Like, oh, we gotta carry that baby because it's a life.
Yeah, or get raped by your partner.
Yeah, like, it's insane. I'm just, I legit cried yesterday because I was like, I can't believe this is happening, and it just made me so sad for people who like imagine, okay, like me, when I got pregnant, I was like already out of the house. I was old enough that like if my parents found out, it wouldn't be like the end of the world. But imagine if I was younger, still living with my parents. Like, there's so many families where that's just like taboo in your culture. Like, you just get shunned from the family.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think like what people are saying is that it's just a way to ensure that there's like socioeconomic hierarchy, because they need.
I'm taking $1.10, right? Or name.
$1.10. $1.10. Yeah. Like, they need people to be poor. They need people to be living in poverty, because it's like, obviously, if, you know, everyone was like kind of making close to the same income or whatever, it's like there wouldn't be people that had power, that had monetary power.
So
it's like just a way to keep the poor people poor.
And uneducated.
And uneducated. Like, it's so, I think it goes so much further than even just religion now, which is like, and yeah, like, what happened to fucking separating religion from the state? Like, why are anyone's religious values or beliefs impacting my body?
And then what I can't wrap my mind around is like, why was this a topic that was up for discussion?
Like, where did it come from? It came from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, everyone vote, and put the right people in power.
Definitely $1.10.
Yeah, $1.10. Because it's just fucking ridiculous. We just have these old hags running the country still that were born in like 1910 or like the 1800s. Who knows how old. I don't think that this is forever. I do feel like something's gonna change, but but I think that we have like some hard years ahead, and I just really worry about like the toll it's gonna take on like young women,
and how like quickly it happened. Like, it passed and then immediately outlawed.
So fast.
That's terrifying.
What?
I need to turn left here, don't I?
Oh no.
Over here right now. Oh, right now. Okay, right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did it. I don't need to cover your ears. I didn't even see you, but I know your ears are covered.
I'm scared.
You know what you want?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Oh my god, all these spam comments on YouTube.
Oh, sexy girls.
Sexy girl, Selena, hermosa, que Dios, ¿de dónde?
Okay, I need my phone to order.
People are watching me. I'm so shy. I just wanted to dance, but everyone's watching me. I'm so hot. I'm melting. I'm melting. Oh no, she's coming back. The what?
This car is so cute.
Your car?
This one.
Oh.
BMW. Adorable.
I was like, okay, loving on your car. I left you a special surprise.
Did you fart?
No, I left you a special surprise.
No, I mean like, did you fart on camera?
I can't fart in general.
Yeah, that's true. Is this delicious?
Well. God, this hole is so large.
I haven't gotten this for so long. I don't remember. But I used to get it less sweet, or just like it gets less sweet as the ice melts.
It tastes a little like Sanrio chapstick, but I like it. I used to have a Hello Kitty chapstick.
Stop.
Don't you want to see some action?
Not when he's gonna smash the car into me.
True.
Or
Did you make this?
No. The plant mat person sent it to me.
I really want like one of those enamel keychains. I've been more intrigued to have one.
What? The one that stole my...
No.
Okay.
No. You know, like the enamel keychains, like the one that sells at Abdullah's.
Oh, those ones. Yes.
For my keys. My keys look
which
so
one
boring.
though?
Honestly, I really like the. There's one of a.
One back up this way.
I think it's a Fiddle Leaf Fig. There was one that I saw recently that was actually so cute.
Like a new design.
Yeah.
Look at this purple garden.
I was literally just like, am I in Scotland?
But it's so poisonous.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like
Foxglove,
actually?
yeah.
Oh, that's foxglove.
Yeah. So me and Garen have decided wherever to redo our garden. Wait, left or right? Like
Left.
um
Foxglove?
no. We want to make a purple garden of all different purple flowers.
That would be so cute.
With like ferns, and then like we want to do like little like kind of undulations and have like moss all over it. That's gonna be expensive.
How would you make the undulations?
I think you could get like rocks and then build soil
moss?
over it.
Oh.
Can we just park in the spot we parked in last time?
Yeah.
Go here.
So there's like 17 empty spots and she's really struggling.
But I was like, some of them are like reserved 24 hours and some don't say reserved 24 hours. Now what? Okay, bye. Cut that out. All right, I'm back and still really hot. So I just want to show you guys what I picked up from Lauren. Okay, so the first plant I grabbed, I don't recall if I got the footage of Charmaine cleaning up a bin of mandulas, but when we were walking around the space, there was this bin of mandulas that was just like rooting in water, but a lot of the lower leaves had crisped off, and Charmaine just started to clean these plants like nobody asked her to. She just went for it. So she was, you know, cleaning up the roots and getting rid of all the crispy brown leaves, and then I kind of helped her a little bit at the end just to finish up a few, but Lauren gave her a mandula for helping her, but Charmaine is kind of overwhelmed with plants right now. She's holding on to a lot of plants for her family when she goes back to California. So she was like, I don't have space for this, like please take it. So here's my new mandula. Eee! So it's already been chopped up into a few pieces because it was like a fairly long, kind of maybe 2-foot vine. I'll just show you the prettiest one here. I love mandulas. I used to not like these plants because I thought they were so basic, and I was so tired of seeing them. Similar to like how I hate variegated string of hearts because people wouldn't shut up about them, and I was like, I was so ugh about them, and then now I am obsessed and I can't get enough of them. I'm still on a mission to grow mandula like really, really, really big. So this one is a beautiful specimen. I kind of wanted to cut them up so that I could get like a full kind of totem of them. So this one is just absolutely stunning. Like I love how much gray is on here. I'll show you another one here. It's definitely different to the one I have. The one I have is a lot more like white and green, and this one has that like speckly variegation, but also the gray layers here. There are a few other cuttings in here. This is the top. A little stick cutting and another single node cutting here. So my plan is to kind of pot them onto a pole together. I'll probably do it separate from my original mandula. This one I was very, very happy to have. Thank you, Charmaine, for doing all the work so I could have a mandula. And obviously if she decides she wants a mandula again or another mandula, she can have at that plant. The second one, so this is a Hoya that we both really fell in love with when we went to her space last time. I did a little bit of a close-up on it, but I don't actually know what Hoya it is. I think Lauren doesn't even really know. She imported it as a specific Hoya, but she doesn't think it's that ID, so I'm just gonna call it no ID. Here's my newest ancient dumpster Hoya. I don't know what this is, but this is like one of the dumpsteriest Hoyas I have. Maybe, yeah, I think it's the most dumpsteriest Hoya I have. I don't know, what does this look like to you? We'll never know until it flowers, and maybe even then it's gonna be some sort of like no ID Hoya. It looks like it's perished. It looks like, okay, I thought I saw a bug on there, but it's not. I've been dealing with mealies on my Hoyas, so I'm just not sure if it's caught any from my other plants. So this Hoya looks like it's been mummified for millions of years. The edges of them are super frilly, but like jaggedy and hard. And then they sunstress to this like red color, and the back seals here are super red as well. Look at this. So stunning. I think this must be, this one looks a lot more red and purpley than the other ones, see? So I don't know if that's because it's a newer leaf or because this one got a little bit more sun. It's really well rooted in moss, and I don't like growing Hoyas in moss. I'm not gonna repot this right now because I did notice that it's pushing out a little leaf right there, And I'm excited to see what that one looks like. So once that one is out, provided it doesn't push out another leaf right after, I will get this into pon. It's currently living inside my Hoya cabinet, my Millsbow. I feel like there's 2 plants in here. which is very generous. I think these two are separate plants. But it looks so good bushy like this, so I'm gonna probably keep it just the way it is and get it in pond. But like I was saying, I'm not going to repot it just yet because every time I repot a Hoya, any sort of new leaf, gone. Just immediately drops. Even if I don't disturb the roots, like I just go from one cup to another in the same substrate, it still just like drops the newest leaf and they just all fall off, which is really sad. So I'll just show you one more time this crazy Hoya. Wow, it is so cool. My Hoya cabinet is actually getting like really jam-packed. When I built that cabinet, I was like, oh, I want vines to kind of be like twirling everywhere. And now we're at that point where the vines are twirling everywhere and I don't like it. I need a system. I need something to kind of keep these plants contained because I have plants kind of like growing across the top. I have plants twirling onto other things. One of my plants is like twirling along the grow light cords. I mean, it's very cute and everything, but this is not a sustainable setup. So I have to figure out something else for my Hoya cabinet to try to fit more Hoyas in there because unfortunately / fortunately, they're growing quite fast. It's looking a lot fuller than when I set up that cabinet in the first place. I'll probably have to do an update for you guys of how everything's doing in there. But anyway, haven't shown Hoyas on my channel for a little bit, so here is a yummy one. Something Hoya. So the last thing, and possibly the most exciting thing, is that Lauren gave us a few of these moss poles. So she got a few hundred of these in and she's pretty much like all sold out because they are going like hotcakes. So these are like snap-on moss poles. So they are the D-shaped ones and it has this like honeycomb front and then it basically like folds in the back and you can tuck them to different sizes. So there's like 3 different kind of widths that you can do. So Lauren gave me 2 sizes. I don't have like giant plants that I'm gonna put on this type of pole, so I just asked her for like the smaller sizes. I believe this one is the small. So if I just kind of bend this backwards, you can kind of see it's a skinnier one and I'm gonna estimate it's like maybe like 1.5 feet long. And this one is the medium one, so it's not much longer than this one, only by like 1 inch or so, but it is quite a bit wider. There's another size that's even smaller than this one. It's just like a little skinny little one, which is super cute. And then there's a size bigger than this one. So I would call this a small and the medium, and then there's like an extra small and a large. What you do is you just fold this back like on both sides like this, and then you just bend and tuck. I'm trying the middle setting. And that's done. Well, f me. In a moss pole. What? That took me like 30 seconds because I have butterfingers. So if I didn't have butterfingers, probably would have taken me like 15 seconds. And then it has these little feet on the bottom to stabilize, or you can still attach a bamboo pole back here. Or you could just like shove it deeper into the pot to stabilize it. And I think if you pot right up to the back of the pot, that back of the pot can help stabilize as well. What I like about these poles is that this like honeycomb pattern, well, first of all, that honeycomb pattern is really cute, looks really clean, but also these holes are quite big. So it's a lot bigger than like the mesh on the traditional moss poles. So when you're going to open it up, first of all, I'm just realizing no zip ties to cut. So you're just gonna undo the back here and then kind of loosen up the moss. And then any roots that have gone through the holes, it's reasonable to assume that they can fit through this, or the majority of them can. This is already a humongous upgrade to the traditional moss pole made with mesh. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a plant potted on here right now, and I'll show you how I do it. And I believe Lauren is nearly sold out of these, but keep an eye on her website. Make sure you're following her on Instagram. Make sure you're following her on Instagram, and she'll be announcing when she gets more of these in. But these are really, really, really cool poles, and you can reuse this so many times. Like, I love how this year has been like the year of the moss pole. It's just awesome. What plant should we do? I've been actually doing a lot of repots off camera because sometimes I just don't want to film them. Like, I don't think you guys understand how painful it is to edit me and the way I talk. It's so painful just to listen to myself like mumble and stuff. So, and trying to repot something and talk at the same time and not say like really, really dumb is really difficult for me still. So all that to say, I've done a lot of repotting and putting plants on poles off camera, so I wouldn't have shown that to anyone yet. So I'm trying to think of a plant that does need to go on. I'll decide before I film this next segment, but we were talking about these poles and with the structure of them and how big these holes are, I think it's very, very plausible to turn one of these into a soil pole. So if you've ever seen a soil pole, it's basically like you get the plant attached to the pole just like any other moss pole, but you just kind of like fill the pole with like a really, really chunky aeroid mix. So it has to be chunky because if it's too fine, it's all gonna just fall out of the roots. So you have to have like quite large grade amendments inside. Tree fern fiber was one that people use a lot. That's the one that I saw from Terrence at Plantstica. I've seen him do his majestic on a tree fern fiber soil mix pole. The benefit, I think, of doing a soil pole is that like you have soil roots in here, and also the soil obviously doesn't stick to the roots as much as moss does. Like when you know like the feeling of undoing a moss pole, the moss is so difficult to kind of even just tell apart from the roots sometimes, so it takes a lot longer to pull them apart, whereas soil just kind of like falls off of the roots, so it's easier to take a plant off. Then you have like ready to go soil roots for when you want to chop the plant. And then another benefit of soil pole is if you get the mix just right and it's not too hydrophobic, you can water through the pole really, really quickly. I think it does definitely dry out faster than a moss pole, but if it's in an enclosed back one like this, maybe it would do a little bit better. I've made a couple of soil poles before, and one thing I will say is that like it does get a little bit messy, so I wouldn't do it outside of like a greenhouse environment because you have a lot of like soil bits falling out the bottom. So when I had one out in my living room, I was just kind of getting like soil bits all over the floor, so I didn't really like that, but I think that would be a really nice use for this. And also in looking at the shape of this pole, I think it would be really good for a shingler. I mean, I'm just thinking for myself, but for a pole like this, I don't want to put a plant that grows super fast and is going to outgrow this pole in like a matter of a month. Like I'm thinking like if I put a Soderoy or Soderini on here, it would outgrow this pole like in a matter of weeks. But if you put a shingling one here and give it nice bright light, it could grow like kind of like compact up here, and it might take a really long time to get to the top. So that might be a good use for this pole. Maybe like if you wanted to shingle a Scindapsus on here, maybe using like the wider one would be a good option, so that the leaves have a wider surface to shingle on. I love moss poles. Lauren gave me 4 of them to try out. So I'll start with one and I'll show you in a bit which one I choose to put on here, and let's go to the plant room. I had to put my hair up because it's just ridiculously hot. I picked a plant. We're gonna do this pink princess that I've shown before. I said I needed to pull it. Now is the time. I talked about this in my most difficult houseplants video because it's like not a difficult houseplant, but it's really hard to get them to grow nicely. That said, when I made that video, I had just recently moved it into this tent. It used to live in my Millsville cabinet, and then I converted that into my Hoya cabinet. So this went here right in the like top back of the tent. And since then, everything has kind of turned forward. So you can see like none of the leaves are at the back, so it's actually in like a perfect position to be pulled, and you can see all of these aerial roots are active and growing. For some reason, well, I think I know the reason, but it started to size up. So for the longest time I was getting like really like stunted tiny leaves like this, and then I think maybe this was the first leaf grown in the tent. There was a leaf that got snapped. Yes, this one right here, there's no leaf on it. But everything that was growing in the Mills bow was like this size, like quite miniature. It hadn't been repot. It hadn't been repot at all. So the only difference is that it moved into the tent, and also it got the great white mycorrhizal inoculant, the one I talk about all the time, this one. So I'm gonna say that it's the great white because everything is sizing up because of the great white. There's a root just kind of stuck to the pot. So I'm just gonna take this out. It needs a drink for sure. So I'm thinking to get this onto the pole with, I don't know, that was so aggressive. I'm gonna leave it in pon. I considered chopping the top off and growing these leaves separately, but I suppose if I'm gonna, no, it's starting to size up. I'm gonna leave it as it is because I don't think I'm planning to sell this anyways. And you know how people say that like chopping a pink princess can kind of make it revert or like even push up more pink, but it's doing its thing right now. It is getting healthier, and I do have variegation on every leaf. It's just that most of them are being expressed on the back. So the big sectoral stuff is all on the backs of the leaves, but at least it's there. Yeah, this one is in the back as well. So we're gonna leave it as it is. We're going to keep it in pon, but get into a bigger pot with the pole. But the only pot I could find was this one, and it's quite big. I mean, like, look at the size comparison. But it's a big pot. I don't have to fill it all the way. I think it's gonna be fine. The pon mix is so airy that I think I'd be surprised if this one has any issues with it. Just looking at the newest leaf that's poking out, it looks really pink. Can you see how pink it's gonna be? That's exciting. Let me put together my potting mat. I need a new potting mat so bad. For some reason, Huxley goes for this all the time because it's like rolled up, and he thinks that it's one of his stick toys. So I have one corner that doesn't clip on anymore, which is annoying because I use this mat so much. So it looks like this now. I've been moving a lot of anthuriums out of moss into pon. So that's some of the repots that I've been doing lately. So I had a lot of moss to reuse, but I also added some fresh moss in here. I think, so this is the one that I kind of built on camera earlier. I think I'll probably just stuff it with it built. Let me try. If this is the easier way to do it, I'm gonna do it the easier way. This might be the worst angle ever. By the way, I'm also not doing a bamboo pole inside because I think it's gonna be fine. I rarely use bamboo poles anymore, especially for my lazy poles. And I just kind of like stick it a little bit deeper in the substrate. And also the bamboo poles are all the way downstairs and I'm lazy. So we're gonna do it this way. This is quite tight, so I'm going to push it up a little bit more and just pull a little bit down so it's not so dense. So it's about halfway filled now. I also don't need to go all the way full because this plant only reaches like the top. Sorry, what am I saying? This plant doesn't reach the top yet, so I can always fill it later. Can I fit my hand in there? Kind of. I can fit my fingers through the holes and pull the moss down like that. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, so the verdict is that it's easy to build the pole and then fill the moss after. because it's already kind of constructed, so you don't have to like kind of do that sushi thing and then battle with the tabs on the pole. So that's probably how I would do it from now on. Okay, so it's like 3/4 full right now. Looking at the plant, that's more than enough moss for it at the moment. So that was so freaking easy. Now we just have to repot. I cannot wait till it's fall again. The only good thing about summer is how fast the plants grow, but plant care can be so painful in the summertime because anywhere you're using grow lights is, oh freaking heck. My bubbler's been on this whole time. Hold on. The audio will have sucked until then, so that's great for me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, plant care is just so painful in summer because anywhere that you have grow lights, it's just unbearably warm. Drainage holes. This is what happens every time, invariably. Okay, so it's not a bad root system. Here's what we're working with right now. But we got all these activated aerial roots, so it's gonna be really happy to get onto a pole and get water and nutrients along the entire stem of the plant. So I'll probably have this pole sitting down a little bit in the substrate, but not all the way to the bottom. And the reason for that is because, so I used to pot my moss poles all the way to the bottom of a pond pot, and then that way I never had to wet the moss pole because it would just wick water up from the water reservoir. But with my schedule lately, I just can't get to filling that reservoir often enough. So basically, if you're potting the pole all the way to the bottom and using the water reservoir of like a semi-hydro plant to moisten the pole, you're gonna have to water it like every 2 to 3 days. And I currently, with my schedule, I don't have the time to do that. I just recently moved my elbow out of that setup into a lazy pole kind of higher up. So I have to manually wet the moss pole now, but the reservoir for the plant roots are going to last a lot longer. So it is like a kind of easy way to wet the moss pole. But I'm kind of moving away from that right now because watering days are just a little bit more spread out now. So right now it's like I have this much of a reservoir. I would say it's like about 2 inches. And then I've got the feet of the pole sitting here. So there's going to be a good amount of distance. Actually, I might go even a little bit higher. Okay, I'll face it towards you. Basically, I'm like moving all the pond around the moss pole so it kind of fills in all the gaps and stuff, and I have the pole right at the back of the pot here. Okay, I'll move the camera angle slightly. We're back to being headless. I wish that these aerial roots weren't so long and that I could feed them into the pole without them snapping. Oh dear. Okay, no, let's not do that. Let's just press it up against the pole. I know some of you are thinking this is like the largest upsize of a pot of all time, and you're probably right. But I honestly think it's gonna be okay. The only thing is that for any plants that like to fill out the roots first before pushing out foliage growth, it does slow down the growth a little bit more. I would say that would be a big risk to take, but if your substrate's correct and you know you're giving the plant enough light to use up all that water, I don't think that it will be a huge problem. Okay, now I'm just kind of flattening out the pond a bit more. I always keep a little plastic spoon on me. Now I just need a Velcro tie that I don't have. Okay, I'll be right back. This is, I don't think like marketed as plant Velcro like the way the green one is, but it's also a little bit stickier. I find like it's got more firm of a grip than the plant Velcro. The thing I like about this one is that it's a little bit wider than the green one. So what you can do is like slice it vertically down the center and make these like really skinny little Velcro ties, and it looks a little bit cleaner. I still use the green one quite often. I don't really know for what. I don't use it for on the lazy pole because I like to use those clean, clear straps, but I still have them all over the place, and I find myself grabbing the green one a lot. I just don't really recall why. So this is sliced down the middle. It's nice and skinny. There we go, that's all done. So I chose this plant not just because it needs a pole, of course, like, but using this pole over the lazy moss pole because the nodes on the praying mantis is fairly closely spaced, and because I have two of these, I can also stack another one on top. So when you're stacking, you kind of just like shift the other one down. You'll lose a little bit of height on one of them because you need to overlap the poles a little bit. You can overlap them less if you want to use a little bamboo stick in between to hold them together. Now this is all potted up. I'm going to do my usual thing, which is I have to add some great white to it. You can't really like overdose on this stuff, so too much of it's not gonna harm your plant. So I'm just gonna get some water. Also, one thing I failed to mention so many times, I've talked about great white so many times and I never mention this, which I feel like is important information. Let me know if you're one of the people who is trying great white and you've noticed this as well. Great white smells like straight up mushroom stew. Like, it's so mushroomy. It's not I don't think it stinks or anything, but I was really surprised when I smelled it. And someone mentioned this to me the other day and I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably mention that to people because it's quite a strong smell. Obviously it goes away, but if you hate the smell of mushrooms, then you might not like it. Here's the plant done. I'm so glad that we have like someone local here that stocks this kind of pole, because previously the only places that I could find this kind of pre-made just like snap-on D-shaped moss pole is either in Australia or Singapore, and it was just way too expensive for me to justify getting. But this is so much cheaper, so much easier, and I mentioned this in my last video, but North Tropicals now ships to the US as well, including plants. So they do Fido, and you can get plants express shipped to you if you're in the States. So make sure you're following Lauren and check to see when these poles are back in stock, or she might have a few left, but they're already on order, so it shouldn't be too much longer for those days when you're just like needing to put a pole on a plant, or it's like been on your to-do list for a super long time and you just need to do it, and you just have a spare moment or just a sudden motivation to pull a plant. This is like, I think, one that I would probably reach for in the future. So thank you, Lauren. I love this pole. So just one final look at what it looks like. I'm actually kind of glad I was putting off repotting this pink princess for so long, so it could be the first guinea pig for this pole. Alright guys, that about wraps up today's video. I think I'm finally getting into a groove with video making and stuff. I'm getting kind of more into a rhythm of things, and I'm really happy about it. Oh, and also thank you guys so much for all the love on my last video, which is things I wish I knew as a beginner plant parent. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous posting it because I feel like I was going to annoy a lot of people. I'm very, very grateful that you guys received it so well, and then there was just so much encouragement on like things I was talking about. So I'm excited to make a part 2 of that video. Anyways, I hate doing outros with a passion, so I'm gonna leave it here. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.